好，请我们的导播把镜头多让各位观众多看一看。
What if the wind could pick you up off the ground? What if a calm spring morning suddenly spiraled into a full-scale atmospheric assault? This isn't science fiction. It's exactly what happened across northern China. If you weigh under 50 kilograms, stay indoors. That was the extraordinary warning issued by Chinese officials on the 11th of April, 2025, as powerful winds tore through northern China. In a matter of hours, trees were uprooted, greenhouses ripped apart, and massive steel arches collapsed in bustling city centers. And believe it or not, that wasn't even the most shocking event of the week. Just 2 days earlier, skies turned from clear to chaos as a surprise hailstorm slammed into another major city, catching thousands off guard. So what's really happening with China's atmosphere? Why did the weather go from calm to catastrophic in a flash? And more importantly, could this happen again? Stick around because this story is wilder than you think. In the early hours of the 11th of April, a volatile collision occurred in the skies over China. A cold air mass from the north met warm, moisture-laden air surging up from the south, triggering a chain reaction of convective storms. Western Inner Mongolia and Gansu were among the first hit. Wind speeds skyrocketed to force 9 and 10 on the Beaufort, scale strong enough to toss debris, uproot trees, and make walking outside nearly impossible. Garbage bins were hurled through the streets. Entire sections of fencing were torn from the ground. By mid-morning, the storm barreled into cities like Hohhot and Baotou in central Inner Mongolia, as well as northern Shaanxi. Visibility plummeted, traffic ground to a halt, loose objects became flying hazards. But things escalated dramatically when the front reached Hebei's capital Shijiazhuang. In the heart of downtown, powerful gusts twisted and collapsed a massive ornamental steel arch. Debris scattered across shopping districts as crowds scrambled for shelter. In rural areas, the destruction was no less devastating. Farming greenhouses were shredded, plastic torn, steel frames bent. In some regions, rooftops were stripped clean, decor and delicate crops were blown away in minutes. And that wasn't the end. In Hubei province, the city of Wuhan was inundated by a torrential downpour. Within minutes, roads were underwater, cars were stranded, drainage systems failed some just recently upgraded, leaving citizens furious and calling for answers. That evening, the storm reached Beijing. Thunderstorms cracked across the sky. Gales hit level 8 on the Beaufort scale. Lightning flickered above the skyline while thunder rattled windows citywide. Forecasts warned that winds could hit hurricane strength force 13 by the next day. As the cold front pressed south, it triggered more chaos across Hunan, Jiangxi, and Guizhou. Hail and heavy rain lashed towns and cities. Some areas saw over 60 millimeters of rainfall per hour, enough to overwhelm even well-prepared infrastructure. Lightning strikes knocked out power, while toppled trees damaged transformers and power lines. Emergency crews worked through the night to clear roads and restore electricity. For farmers, it was catastrophic. Orchards and vegetable fields were destroyed. Crops that had taken months to grow were wiped out in less than an hour. But before all this on, the 9th of April, the Changsha, the capital of Hunan province, experienced its own meteorological ambush. At around 5 p.m., under what had been a warm, peaceful sky, the weather turned ominous. Dark clouds rolled in fast, thunder cracked. Then, without much warning, the hail began. Though the hailstones were small, about the size of soybeans, their rapid, concentrated fall stunned the city. Streets went from calm to chaotic in minutes. Vehicles were dented. Trees and shrubs were stripped. Pedestrians were forced to duck for cover. Districts like Furong, Yuhua, and Tianjin saw roads flood almost immediately. Electric scooters and compact cars stalled. Buses had to be rerouted. Visibility was poor and surfaces became dangerously slick. Thankfully, early warnings were issued at Mornaya, yellow thunderstorm alert, and a blue hail warning, prompting many to stay indoors or seek shelter in underground garages and malls. Without those alerts, the situation could have been far worse. Meteorologists later confirmed that the storm was a classic springtime convective event. A cold vortex at high altitudes had collided with warm, humid air at the surface, creating a volatile atmosphere ripe for fast-developing storms. And just as fast as it arrived, it was over. Within 2 hours, the skies cleared and the city began its cleanup. These events just days apart highlight a critical issue: the vulnerability of urban infrastructure in the face of extreme weather. From hail-drenched streets in Changsha to hurricane-force winds in Beijing and farmland drowned in Hubei, China experienced back-to-back atmospheric chaos in just 72 hours. And the truth is, these storms weren't random. Meteorologists point to climate-linked shifts in seasonal weather patterns, more volatile cold fronts, increased humidity, and faster temperature swings. These changes are making extreme convective storms not just more frequent, but more intense.